All right, everyone, we might as well get started. My name is Kevin Gunn. I am coordinator of digital scholarship at the Catholic University of America Libraries. So today's webinar is going to be on web searching makeover. This is the first time I'm offering this workshop. I've been learning quite a bit about various technologies and that moving forward. In the spring, I went to computers in libraries and went to a wonderful web searching workshop of several hours and just found a cornucopia of delights is what I call it. And I thought, wow, this would be great to have a webinar and to share it with all of you. So today is going to be very much a show and tell process. I really just want to give you an idea of the variety of content and tools that are out there that you can use for whatever your needs are. So it's not meant to be exhaustive by any stretch of the imagination, but merely to introduce you to some material. I can guarantee that you've seen some of this, but you have not seen all of this. So you will learn a few things today. So that's always a good thing. All right, so moving forward here, and I would also say I'll be showing a number of different websites to that. So if you are familiar with it and you want to point out something that's very interesting about it, by all means unmute and say something or put it in the chat and share your knowledge with us too. Okay, so let's have some fun today going with this. First place I'm going to go is start with the familiar, as we say. I'm going to look at Google, Bing, and DuckDuckGo. So the first two you probably heard of. I'm pretty sure the third one you've heard of. So let's go to this. Are you seeing my Google page right now? Google homepage. Yes, okay, good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, we're familiar with this page, right? So what is very interesting about Google and Bing and to a lesser extent DuckDuckGo is that they're always changing things up. They're introducing new things, they're dropping other things, then they're reintroducing other things. I mean, so you really need to keep on board with what sort of tools that they're offering. And that is a completely different conversation with regards to search engine optimization or algorithms, all this sort of stuff. That's a totally different conversation. So here we have simple work. So I'm going to do tornadoes. I've been practicing a few of my searches here. Okay, so looking at this page here, introduce you perhaps to some little interesting caveats, searches that you can use here. They have a number of different filters. You'll notice here under news, videos, images, books, and more here. So I'm going to focus on these ones here. You'll notice if you search all, you get your typical results. If you go under tools, under the searching for all, you have any time that you can search. So this is very useful if you're looking for particular time frames, say in the last month or last 24 hours. This is very useful. The big three have those options there. We'll find later that there are actually search engines like A Million Short, where you can take away the search engine optimization, or you can focus more on a specific time period. So there's always these different ways that you can play with things. If we look at all results, you have all results or verbatim. So whatever you typed into Google, it'll come back to you as is. If we were to look at news, we have listing of tornadoes here. If you again click on tools, you'll have this listed here, usual times and all that, and custom ranges, but they also have an archives here that you can go into and search as well. I won't do it right now, but there's the little features that are sort of hidden that you sort of have to look around for. And then sorting by relevance or sorting by date is an option. If we go to videos, let's see. Again, we're going to have slightly different results here. A lot more images, if you will, listed here. If we go to tools again, things start to heat up. We've got some other options here. So if you're looking for a different short video of something, tornadoes in this case, then you can restrict your search just to how long that video is. Again, looking under any time, you've got the custom range. You have any quality or high quality. Just FYI, if you're doing this search on your mobile, your iPhone or whatever, you're just going to get the high quality images option for you. You won't get any quality. So just a little secret there. If you look under all videos, you have all videos. You can have the option of closed caption if that's what you need. Then they also have what's called any source. So Google promotes YouTube, of course. But you also have NOAA, the Washington Post, USA Today, and some of these here. Now, how these got here, how these are prioritized, I'm not sure. Perhaps it is SEO, I don't know, but they are available there for you. So that's videos. If we go to images, lots of wonderful images, really dark clouds of tornadoes and that. If we go to tools, we again have a different set of options. We have size, if we're looking for something for our website. Color, if you're looking at something that is red, let's say. Ugh. So it'll push back where red is the dominant color. It's kind of neat. Well, if you go to type, it will give you clip art, line drawing, GIF or GIF, if you're looking for that type of material, and time as well. And then what I like is another feature here is called the usage rights. Creative Commons licensing as well as commercial and other licenses. So that's very helpful for looking for particular books, particular images that may be in the public domain or easily licensed. Next, we have books. I think everyone here is familiar with the books version of things. If you go to tools, in this case, they make tools the default option. So you can look at previews or full views or just full views. They have any documents that you want to use. So it's just not books, but magazines and newspapers. And then if you want to look at different centuries, you can do that. Of course, they're the only ones that have the option. Bing and Duckduckgo don't have it. Duckduckgo don't have it because they didn't scan all those wonderful books years ago. So there is something to consider. One feature that they have added in the last couple of years that is worth noting. Let's see if we go down here. Okay. So if I were to take the preview here, so I can look at the preview session if I want to. And if I can get this out of the way. What I can do is I can search in this book. So if I wanted to search for a particular word, I guess, let's just say signs. In this case, it only comes up, I think, on the title page here, but you get the idea. They do list them by relevance, and they'll list them by page order too. So kind of nice, you can search in books. It's not available for all books, but they are available for a lot of them there. All right. So if we take a look at Bing, Bing also has some ways you can look at things here. Not as extensive as Google, but that's fine. You have images listed here. You can look at what's trending. You can do a visual search as well. You can actually put an image in here and search for that. Google has a similar feature as well. Let's see. So you can do that. Let's see, right here. If we look at the videos, you'll notice they'll have listed here a number of various headings. Let's try here. And they have, oh, let me get here to settings. Oh. All right, so moving that way. News. Okay. So I'll leave that there. You can definitely see different ways that you can search that. All right, so the third one is Duckduckgo. Actually, let me do this right now. If I do. So again, if you type in tornadoes, you have on this right-hand side here, you can filter it. And you'll have, by length, they give it slightly, like here's 5 minutes or less. They have dates as well. Resolution, they get much more specific than Google. They also tell you a lot of the sources, so they're much more sources that they're using. And then if you want to look at everything or just the free or paid options. So if I were to look at images, again, a lot of the same features here. You can even do a size search here. So if you just want a certain size based on the pixels, you can type that in and get those that come back at you. Colors, types here, you have a photograph, clip art, line drawing, animated GIF, and transparent. So a little bit more, Bing is a little bit more advanced in this sense than Google is. And they also provide layouts. If you're looking for people, just faces, dates, and then a much more comprehensive list of licenses and what you can look at. So yeah, it's definitely worth using more than one browser, one search engine. So the last one I'm going to look at here is tornadoes. Is Duckduckgo, I should say. And they have as well here a number of features here, not as helpful, but still useful. Here you can search by a particular region listed here. They also have that in the other databases, in the other search engines, Google and Bing, but you do have to look for them. Let's see if that is listing here. So yeah, Duckduckgo is very much presented as a privacy browser, and that's what they focus on. They're not into the search engine optimization, that sort of thing. So I find radically different results searching Duckduckgo and Bing and Google. So it's definitely worth having in your pocket and moving forward. So those are just basic searches within those three databases, but there is more that you can do here. So let me go back to Google, and we're going to do a general search here. So there's such a thing as phrase searching. So you can do various precise phrases and that. Sometimes it has a tendency not to work as much, but you can definitely, it's not as precise as it has been in the past, but it has been, but it's still something that you can use. In Bing and DuckDuckGo, you put in precise phrase in quotation marks, and then you give the words for it. So that will give you the best results if you do that. Another thing you can look at is quite a variety of operators that you can use here. I'm not going to go through them all, but if you wanted to use a particular date operator, this is relatively new. So let me give you an example. If you're looking for the final episode of Game of Thrones, you can do this. Like that, and I'm going to copy that, and then when you shoot that through, you'll get those web pages, articles, whatever, that have been indexed during that period. So if you look here, if you scroll down, you'll notice right away May 20th, May 19th, May 20th, everything that's listed here on that very particular one. So if you want to know how people's reactions were to the final episode, this is a good way that you can find that sort of information. So there's that. I'm going to try the same search in Bing. No images there. Okay, so let's go to all. So the latest recaps. July 22nd, 2021, December 3rd, 2019. You see, it doesn't work as well in this particular search engine. So you can use your search terms, you can use the search strategies, the operators, but be cognizant of the fact that you may get very different results or no results. I'll try this in DuckDuckGo. Here we go. And again, you're going to get a wide variety of results here. So it's good to be aware of the operators, but be careful that you just can't cut and paste and put them into other search engines and get the same sort of results. So that is the takeaway there. Now, back in the day, when Google was dominating everything, as it does still now, with fewer competitors, I would say, it really had a lot of ways that you can search on it. One of them was the advanced search page. Right here. So this is the advanced search page that you can search for. It's because of the changing, their search technology has gotten better, definitely with artificial intelligence, algorithms, that sort of thing. So people have just spent their time on the main simple page, if you will, doing a simple search and getting results there and being generally satisfied. However, if you need to be more specific in what you're looking for, I've showed you how you can do a date limitation. Here's another way where you can search for all the words, exact words in that. So this is sort of I wouldn't say fallen out of favor, but not used, haven't talked about with other people for a long time. But these advanced search pages apparently are returning to the fold, so to speak. So So apparently, for example, there are new operators that are only available on advanced search, and this applies to their new patents page, for example. So they are making a bit of a comeback in that sense. I could point out here, we do have an advanced book search here, so you can do all these limitations as well, including books written by, books on the subject, and that sort of thing. And you can find full view or Google eBooks only if you want to restrict it that way. I won't bother doing the Moby Dick search, but you can definitely get some cool results that way. Google Scholar, yes. So you can have restrict your search in Google Scholar through these particular ways, which are very helpful. The reason why I'm pointing all of these out, here's advanced image search that you can provide search for any type of image that they listed here, any region, that sort of thing. File type and usage rights. So it's that way. But what is very interesting about all this is that they have different ways that you can search for all this. It takes, when you go to their main page, it takes, they have it located in different places. This is what I'm trying to say. Where do you find this? So if we were to go to Google again, so we go to Google Advanced, and then go here, you sort of have to hunt around for this. So this case, now where did they put that? Oh yes, under the settings menu. Where'd you go? Oh, sorry about that. Gee, all right, I can't seem to find that. There we go. Have the zoom settings over the regular settings. So here you go under settings down the corner here. Just proves my point. Got to point this out, that you have advanced searches here that you can go to. So that's under general Google. If you're doing advanced, it works the same with books, images, and videos. You just look at the settings menu, so that's helpful. If you look at new patents, it's at the bottom of the home page. I won't show that. If you look at Scholar, you have to go to the hamburger menu, and it's listed over here. So it is in different places, and you may not want, you may have to look around for it, but it's very useful to use that if you prefer doing sort of the old advanced, old type searching. As a librarian, you know, you learn the simple search, and then you learn the advanced search. So they're keeping that still available moving forward. So regarding the advanced search for video, here they had it, then they got rid of it a long time ago, and now they're brought it back apparently. So here it is with all its glory and how you can search that. Okay, here's Google patents if you wanted to search that, and they have an old patents page, and now they have a new patents page as well. So that's it for the things we sort of know, but we sort of need to refamiliarize ourselves with. So now if we want to take a look at what's happening out there with regards to new search engines. The big thing out there these days is privacy. So we're going to be, you're going to find privacy in a lot of browsers and search engines, in various tools that are out there. They're really pushing this notion. So it's good to be aware of this. Searches the web with no ads. It's subscription. There's a subscription option if you want to do that. It's definitely something that's in alpha mode right now, so hopefully it'll become available for everyone. Another search engine that you could use is called Gexxi. It's also privacy focused. And this one, in addition to that, it also deals with fundraising for social development. So your search generates money for projects that make the world a better place. So there you go. So you can do searching and you can get help people with that. There is also what's called All the Internet. This one's been around for a few years. It's always nice to have a meta search engine. I don't know if you remember, 20 years ago, they had meta search engines like Dogpile. Dogpile is still around, not as robust as it once was, but you can use all the internet here to find a lot of different things. All right, and the last one I'll show you is this page, this u.com is called. It has a privacy focus and you can sign up for early access. There's another thing that's in beta mode and something that'll be coming. So it summarizes the web for you is their basic impetus here. You can customize your searches and that's privacy and all that. So, all right. And last but not least, the rumors are that Apple is developing its own search engine. So I'm not sure exactly where that is, but who knows, one day there'll be another one out there on the landscape. So that is that. Let's see, I'm going to go back here. So I should mention, I should talk about our agenda. So I showed you some of the new existing resources and features. Now, what I would like to do is show you some new research and discovery tools. And I just mentioned some search engines there. And then what we'll do is we'll go into some new resources. I'll sort of combine that resources for specific tasks. I had Constellate in mind for text mining. And then I'll end the webinar with some current effective search strategies that may be useful for you going forward. All right, so I did Google, Bing, and DuckDuckGo, talked about them. So here we go. Cornucopia of delights, interesting websites and tools. And I sort of focused on scholarship and productivity, but not overwhelmingly so. Just sort of had to have some sort of a base to move to. So what I'm going to do here, the first thing I'm going to do, let's see. I am going to share my screen. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, can you see this page, the markup? Oh, you cannot. Okay. All right, let's see. There, you should be able to see the markup now. I'm using two different windows here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool. It's called OneTab. It is a extension add-on to your browser that you can use. You'll notice at the top of my page that I have a whole bunch of things I want to show you today. So we're going to have to move fast through these. So I look at this and I go, oh dear, I need to sort of organize very quickly what I need. I need to compile it without losing any of it so I can use it later. So I'm going to have this browser, which I've pre-installed, this add-on in my browser. It's called OneTab. I'm going to click on this. And boom, 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 takes my 29 tabs and puts them all here. So now I have access to all this. First thing I will tell you, do not click on any one of these because you'll delete it. So I found that out the hard way. So which I like to do, if I'm working on a bunch of things during the day, I'll share as a web page. There we are. So I've got that. So now I can click on every one of these. I have an uncluttered desktop screen, and I can go and use what I want. So that's the first thing that I'm going to show you is OneTab. You can also send this off to different folks. If you wanted to do that, and you can use it at different times as well. So there you go. You'll notice up here it has the OneTab here. If I go back here, it lists everything here. So I don't lose anything. I can share as a web page. If I want to restore everything, I can do that. I can name this tab group, lock this tab group, and start this tab group. So I have quite a few options here. Here's all tabs. Share as a web page. You can export, import the URLs and other options. So wonderful tool. I like using it. It's pretty cool. So here we go. I'm now going to go to our next one, which is Audio Burst. And you'll notice I lost my page. Oh no. So not a problem. So I can just go back there. And list it that way. So here is Audio Burst. So this is, you ever wanted to have the spoken word from a podcast and be able to read it instead of just listening to it? So you can actually search the actual transcript of it. So if you go under resources and you go to audio library, there you go. You can do a search and find top stories. Let's see this. Oh, here's something 6 hours ago. And from NPR, here's the actual text that you can go in and take a look at. So that is kind of a cool thing. It's not definitive, doesn't have everything, but it's a good place to start. All right. So we have Internet Archive Scholar that you can use. So this is a full text search index that includes over 25 million research articles listed here. So this is a new service. Metadata is being improved, but the features have not been finalized. So buyer beware. So you can go in and take a look at this. A lot of auto copyright, open access, material proceedings, preprints, that sort of thing. It's really good for articles that have disappeared from the web. So you can find that listed here. One of the nice things that this Internet Archive Scholar has is that it has a keyword search. So the Internet Archive doesn't do that. So it's an excellent added feature that they do have with that. You've all heard of Directory of Open Access Journals. Well, guess what? The same people have brought you books. So you have 44,000 academic peer-reviewed books from over 600 publishers listed here. So you can browse by the subject or search by a title. So let's take a look here. And there you go. So again, it's a lot of hit miss. They have their faceted searching listed on the faceted options listed on the side here, so that you can search. So it's a good, worthwhile, good place to find material. Interesting question. I don't know if all the books listed here are in ALMA, our search catalog, if you will. Would be an interesting thing to find out. Let's see. Next one we have is News Now. So you have hot topics, a whole bunch of news worthy items. You can go just to the US if you wanted to. Click on that. And it'll tell you where the topics from the US are coming from. It'll also show you that if it's a US news source or some that's outside the United States. And you can go through here, scroll down, look at the latest news and all that. So you've got a lot of news that you can take a look at right away. Let's see. They claim between 40 and 50,000 sources using that. And you can do the source country from every source from every country in the world. So it's quite useful. And there's also an open news aggregator ticker that we just saw. So quite useful in that regard. And related to that in a way is newspapers.com. So this is more of an archival historical nature here. I haven't really need to use it in my research all that much, but you do have this this page, and they have 21,000 newspapers from the 1700s to the 2000s, and largest online newspaper archive, and millions of additional pages is added every month. So I do believe you may have to pay for some of this, but it is definitely something to look at if you're doing a deep dive back into history. All right, so the next one is NextDNS. So again, we're back to the whole notion of privacy, but this one's pretty cool because it takes a different approach from here, protects you from all kinds of security threats, blocks, ads, trackers, and websites, and that sort of thing. It is different from virtual privacy networks, and people have had issues trying to run this as well as their VPN, but this is definitely something that you can sign up for. And you can use what they do is they convert, the pricing is free. What they do is they convert your IP addresses to particular numbers, so you have an anonymity when you're searching. You can change your DNS from your ISP, and it will begin blocking cookies, tracking devices, and that sort of thing. So very useful in that regard. Let's see. Next, we have a thing called the Personator. So if you want to track down someone in particular, there's a lot of different resources out there that you can use. In this particular case, this was kind of interesting. I typed myself in here, and I forgot to limit to Maryland, so I'm going to do that. So it's interesting here, 3 people, 2 of them same address. Yes, that's me, that's where I live. If I look at this record, it gives you a number of different interesting things. One particular name, address, the property information. They have a particular what's called Melissa address key. This is the Melissa main page reference. It gives you the latitude and longitude of my house, where it is in the residential, the postal carrier code, my US representative, and then the census entities listed here, specifically for my area, my block, but also around the community as well. Even tells me my delivery post office, if you need to know that good for you, but I don't know why you need to know that. So there's a different tool that one could use to locate some information on someone. So I guess just the opposite of privacy, material that is information that is publicly available, I should say. So you sort of have a tool like that. The next one we have is called the Resonator. Come out here. All right, so it has Wikidata that it talks about. So you can actually do a search on this and have all this information aggregated in one place. It is a nice little way to search for something. So if I want to search for Barack Obama, for example, I could just type that in this case, click. So what happens is this will pull together, because it's Wikidata, it will pull together all this different information, give the relationships that are listed here, siblings, all this sort of stuff that you can find on the web and aggregated from different sources and that. So it's kind of cool in that sense. You mentioned going back here that you can get more out of it if you do have some experiences with Wikidata APIs or Sparkle queries. So that's something you sort of have to work on, but I think it's pretty cool that you can have that much information come together in one place. Yes, here we go. All right, so you ever get the impression that RSS feeds are sort of on the way out? They haven't been used all that much, but they are still useful. And here's one place where you can create your own RSS feed. So it's probably the best if you use it for social media feeds. It would be one way to use it. It's like I said, it's not being used all that much anymore, but it's been a while since I've seen an RSS feed. So I just wanted to point that out. All right, another thing is called single file, which is an add-on to your browser. And what I have up here in the top right-hand corner is save file and single file. And what it does, it archives a web page on your own computer that you can annotate. So it sort of documents you going through the web and saving the files there. So if I were to do a quick click here, if you look down the bottom left-hand corner, it shows you that it's working and that it's saved it somewhere on my computer. So single file is a nice little tool if you want to keep track of what you're doing. Let's see. So the Internet Archive Wayback Machine, you have, everyone's used it, but what you could do with this nice little feature that they have, they've added in the past, I don't know, a year or two, I guess, a couple years, maybe more, is that you can capture a particular web page as it now appears right here. So if you want to make sure that page that you visited, that you're able to visit it again, you can do that. There is the caveat that as long as that web page isn't being blocked by robots or whatever, then you should be able to save it in the Wayback Machine. You can also send an email if you wanted to do that. You can send a SPN at archive.org. You put in the subject heading. So let me put this way here. All right, so I'm going to look at CNN.com. What it does, it'll save the page, but it'll also save all the outgoing links as well. So sometimes it will take a little bit of time. going through. So you have to sort of be patient with that. So while we're doing that, oh, here we go. Okay, so we have a snapshot that's covered. So I can click on that. So we'll see, that may take a little bit of time. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Similar to single file is Conifer. And whereas single file archives one web page at a time, so you go to a page, click, go to a page, click, that sort of thing. Conifer is that you can record the websites that you're going to as you travel from website to website automatically. So that's kind of useful. There is a limit of 5 GB per account. So I suspect if you're getting a lot of video and images, that will load up very quickly. Next one I want to point out is social networks and archival context. So this one is, you can go search for the archives, the papers of famous people, basically, or not so famous scholars here. So this can be quite useful in finding individuals' papers. If you click on, let's look at Arnold here, Arthur Arnold. And there should be some material following here. Let's see, resources, let me go back. So you have listed here archival resources, who the holding repository is and that. So for archival research and papers, this is a good place to come check out. The next one is Rev, and you can convert audio and video to text if that's what you needed. It has a transcript library. Under resource library here. I think I'm in the right place. Oh, nope. Well, they do have that option here. I just can't find it right now. But you definitely can look at their transcription options. And it's very useful for breaking news if you need to know something very quickly, but see it in text format. Let's see. And of course, we've got 2 big heavy hitters right now. We have Semantic Scholar. So this is a great search tool, 197 million scholarly papers, and you can look by keyword and citation alerts. So I think many of you have been exposed to this before. It's not terribly new, but it is something that you definitely could use. Now on a related website, it's called The Lens, and it does something very similar to that. And they too are have quite a bit here. They have 228 million works that you can look at in science and technology. And what they do is they pull in their material from Crossref, Microsoft Academic Search, and PubMed. So you can find a lot of material this way. I'm just going to type in cancer. This one comes out of Australia, lens.org. And you can take a look at just the details that's listed here. and you can have a lot of stuff about grants and a whole bunch of other different things, excuse me, listed here. It's very interesting. I've not done this, but you could do a compare and contrast between that and Web of Science and see how that stacks up between the two or possibly the three going. So as you can see, a lot of different filters that you can use. You know, cited works and that. So a lot of interesting material. All right, so we're looking at Internet Archive. And here is the page that we got. I should mention right now, just to put this, I'm going to put this up here. So if you do want to put something in the Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine, I should say, you can do in the subject heading, you can send an email to spn@archive.org. Like that. So that's the email address. And then in the subject heading, you would put in capture outlinks. Like that. So when you did that, it would be sent to them, and you would paste whatever URLs that you wanted them to take note of. And it'll, depending on how many you put in, it'll take a couple hours or a few minutes, whatever. And then what'll happen is you'll get an email saying that that it has been processed in that. So you can be very proactive in that sense. The next one up is, if you're interested in looking at privacy policies around the web, guess what? There's 1.4 million English language privacy policies from around the web, and you can use this. This comes out of Penn State. So this is a relatively new tool that you can use if you're focusing on that one topic. Yidio for streaming services. If you ever want to know where a show is being streamed, you can use Yidio. So they're adding new vendors all the time. They have 100 more services here in addition to Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Showtime. So if you want to know where the TV series The Munsters is playing, you can check it out, find out where it is here. So that's Yidio. All right. So speaking of search engine optimization, so if you want to get away from the other browsers, what you can do here is you can come to Million Short. It's in beta, and what you can do is you can type something in. Let's say cancer. I'm going to say, or you know what? I'm going to do tornadoes. Stick with that. Tornadoes. Don't remove any sites. Or what you can do is remove the top 100, top 1,000, top 10K, 100K, 1 million. So here you go. So these go way back, I suspect, maybe back 20 years, who knows? But this is a really good way, because when you're searching, say, Google, you know, who wants to page through all the search results? This is a way that you can take a look. You can cut the top stuff out and get a better sense of what you're finding, what you can find. So it's a way to sort of blunt the search engine optimization features on Google. Really short. Okay. So if you're following anyone on Twitter, I recommend that if you wanted to do a little snooping on their feeds, you can use Beaver. So for example, you can look at your own results. You can look at if two accounts follow each other. You can search within a particular person's timeline. There we go. Yeah. So I don't think it'll work on this. It worked on my laptop, but what you can do is there we go. All right, it's going to allow me to do it. All right, there we go. So if you want to look for me, and you can search, I don't know, digital humanities. And you can submit the query. So 192 tweets. I'm going to display on the screen. And that's how they come out. So it'll tell me when I said it and when and what was I talking about. So it's kind of nice if you forget what you said or what someone else said, you know who the person is, but you forgot exactly what their tweet was, then you can go in and retrieve it in that way. So kind of useful. Let's see, there's Media Cloud. So this has a platform and offers a number of tools. So for media analysis, so if that's what you're looking at, it's open source. So you can go right in and take a look. You can look at topic mapper, see how something's been explored over the past few years and that sort of thing. We're going to get to Constellate. I think most of you, if you're librarians, you've probably heard of it. Constellate is by Ithaca. Folks have brought you JSTOR, ArtStore, and Portico. So definitely the big vendors are moving into data mining, text and data mining. And this is their Ithaca's contribution to this. It is in beta mode and it is open, it's free for now. Products by say Gale or ProQuest, there you have to purchase them. So it's kind of an interesting way that you can search for material here. And of course, there's a whole bunch of things you can build your own data set by limiting what you have in here and all that. So I won't get into that, but it's kind of useful if you're want to do research and want to see what has been talked about in different ways. So you can do some type of deep mining there. So that is it for that. I'm going to go back to share the screen. So that was that. And so last of all, just to mention some brief search strategies going forward, and then I'll take any questions if you have. Obviously, search beyond Google. I think I've demonstrated that efficiently. Switch browsers as often as you can. Don't accept the best answer that you get. Know your search technology. Know what the browsers are doing. Have a good sense of how AI is affected by that. Be skeptical of what you retrieve back to you. Consider the source for a lot of this material. Definitely want to keep an eye open from where it's coming from. You can think visually. A lot of the browsers are using images as ways you can search, so that's always very useful. You always want to look at your starting strategy. For example, Boolean searching is pretty good for subscription databases, but not so good for on the web for using the various search engines. So you have to be cognizant of that. When you are doing searching, you definitely want to ask for what you want, be specific, and then build out from there. You can always use a general concept and then narrow it down as you move forward. So that's a good strategy too. But there are different ways that you can retrieve material. Looking at budgeting responsibly, a lot of stuff is available for free on the web, but your time is not. So you definitely have to look at what you've got, where you're going and what you're doing. With regards to evaluating results, I teach information literacy classes to students, so we're always talking about the CRAP test, confirming the source of it, who's the audience, who's the authority, how often is it updated, all these sorts of questions you have to ask in order not to fall victim to misinformation or disinformation. So there's quite a bit out there on that. And then just looking ahead, what sort of material will be coming forward. Let me just do this. So there's going to be changes in content technology. Definitely, you want to look at changes in content ownership. Is something available on the web or is in a subscription database? And of course, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all that is becoming prevalent in our search results. So you have to hang on to that. So, and of course, privacy legislation is a big thing right now, and it's going to continue to be more of an issue moving forward. So, all right. So thank you very much for coming. Do you have any questions? All right. So if there are no questions, what I will do is I've got your emails. Oh, we have a question. We have a question. The conifer, you betcha. There you go. So I should point out, don't worry about the links. I'm going to send you a complete list of all the links and that, maybe a few extra too, just for fun to you, so you can explore on your own time. So it was a bit of a whirlwind tour today. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Oh, we have one more. Oh, yeah. So I hope you learned something new. Lots of stuff going on out there. So thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.